It is the year of the Lord.
1992.
Well, that would be correct if it was 1992, but no, it's 2018. It is 2018, and you're listening to a new retarded episode of Radio Rothingham, the world's least professional podcast on the entire internet. We got some difficulties lining up our schedules, and of course there was the whole holiday season, so things are fucked up anyway. I was stricken by sickness, but I defeated it, and here we are to start off the new year with a fresh new episode of Radio Rothingham. The least professional podcast on the entire internet, whatever. So we got with us a bunch of co-hosts. We got the 2018 version of Backfoon.
Yes, I'm remastered.
It's Backfoon remastered. We got the 2018 version of Secular.
I love you all.
Oh my god, the new version of Secular is so loving. Are you feeling well? I'm scared. We got the 2018 version, new and improved, Xaverius.
Nobody dies this year, so I guess it's my turn.
And of course there's the best version of the Artrix 2018 version of Artrix, the Artrix, which happens to be me. I'm much better than 2017 Artrix by virtue of not being 2017 Artrix. Because it's a new year, goddammit. So,
Dream of the year.
Yeah, this is the episode, the year of the episode of the year, best episode. It can't really be beat, and we might as well just give up. We reached our peak.
Good job.
GG.
We are still to hit number 19, and then we are to hit number 100.
Yeah, that's very true. Anyway, I am drawing the one and only GIR because this will also segue straight into the first topic. So I'm pretty sure you guys have heard about this super hot new meme that's going on this information superhighway. It involves Knuckles, but he's really small and retarded.
Artrix is racist.
I'm extremely racist because of that. And there's this program called VR Chat, and they've been all over the place. They're all over the place. They chat in virtual reality. It really is like it's the fucking 90s right now.
It's the 21st century.
This is how they imagined the year 2007.
Exactly. This was exactly the kind of shit that you would see in the late 90s. I mean, look at your average cartoon, and whenever they bring up virtual reality, it's some guy, putting on a little helmet and just walking around like a zombie. That's what we have now, right now.
Or according to Keikaku.
We live in the future of 1995 or whatever.
I said it, Artrix, 1992. You didn't listen to me. You insisted it's a different year, but it's not.
No. In 1992, it was all about flying cars. In 1995, it was all about virtual reality.
Artrix, the flying cars, it was 1985.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Anyway, to make a long story short, to explain why I'm drawing GIR. So people got annoyed with all the Knuckles going around. So they were like, you know what? The best way to combat the Knuckles is to go around and create an army of GIRs. So you got this entire room just filled to the brink with GIRs. And the Ugandan Knuckles were not exactly pleased with that, and they just became GIR. And now you got a room full of GIRs.
Yes.
You can't ignore the GIR.
Hmm?
You know, Artrix, the difference between what they fought in the last 90s and what we have now is that they imagined it to look much cooler than it does.
That's true. We don't have any neon colors anywhere. That's very disappointing.
Yeah.
Unless you skin your Knuckles to be neon colored.
So yeah, that's why
It's
I'm
a good idea.
that's why I'm drawing not Knuckles. That's why I'm drawing GIR. But
Actually,
if
that's a Knuckles, but he subverted the girl culture.
But if we'll be going on long enough, I might actually have time to also draw Ugandan Knuckles.
Artrix, look. The more Knuckleses infiltrate girls, the more girls are actually Knuckleses, which means that the end result is that no girl is actually Gerta or Knuckles.
Why are you talking like Gallon?
Because I have cold.
Oh my god, you have a cold! Are you
Yes.
feeling right? Well, of course you do.
Of course, what?
I don't know.
Also, that's not how Gollum talks. Gollum is like, yes, precious.
Precious. And GIR would be like, doom de doom de doom 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 doom. I'm GIR.
And then the ghost
Tacos!
Undertale eat you.
Yes. And now for some reason I imagine GIR duking it out with Sans. Which is truly one of the most horrifying sights that I can imagine, actually.
I'm sure it has already happened somewhere on some
It's
server.
possible.
There are definitely a lot of Sens running around,
Hmm?
but not a lot. But there are good, well made.
I saw at least one skeletons.
All the skeletons.
At least one of them.
So yeah. Well, since I brought up
You mean sense?
the what now?
Sense, you brought up.
Yes, I brought up Sans for some reason. He's in VR chat.
Everybody's in VR chat, even the things from Five Nights at Freddy's.
Hmm? If
And
you-
then they alive it to goat children from Undertale, and then they chase you.
Speaking of which, by the way, I actually bought a copy of Undertale. I just have to play it. I know, right? I had to spend an entire €5.
I think you can put a soda or half a kebab for that.
Didn't you already have it spoiled?
Of course, I know like 80% of what's going to happen in the game, but now at least I can say I've played Undertale.
No, Artrix. Now you can use the knowledge
Yes.
properly.
Will the game give me special ending because I can foresee all the events that are going to happen in the game?
He just murdered everybody.
Okay. So you're saying that I should go for the genocide route?
No, just murder everybody. Don't even go for any end. Just murder.
Just boot the game and then just start killing everything.
Yeah, immediately. Just kill the menu options.
Just start killing the menu.
Yes.
Menus like, welcome to Undertale. It's a fun. Oh, and everyone's dead. Anywho, so we got the VR chats, and yeah, 2018 sure started with this really retarded meme.
It's the best meme, Artrix.
Well, this is a good.
It's the way.
It is truly the way. Do you know the way?
Do you know the way? The way of the devil.
I know the way of GIR. Is that the way? Is GIR the way?
That's not the way. Speed on the unbeliever, brothers.
I don't know.
Believe in the way of the Ebola.
But yeah, it's one of those perfectly hyper retarded memes.
It's amazing. I mean, years tend to start with memes. The last year was, and it's not fresh memes either. It's like memes from the last year that just got extremely popular at the start of the new one. The last year it was, may I have some oats, brother?
No. It's properly. It's pronounced. May I have some oats, brother?
Yes. No oats! And then the pig got no oats. except in the other episodes it did get old, but then it got terribly complicated, and there was lots of thinking about life. That was a good meme.
Too deep 7 me.
Yes.
Yeah,
Now
now
you have Ugandan Knuckles Warriors.
and yeah, given at the rate I'm drawing this, I'm definitely going to have to draw Ugandan Knuckles as well, because
Artrix, you know you want to. It is the way.
it is the way.
I like the development of this thing. Like, it started with some unrelated memes about Uganda
Mhm.
and the Zulus, and that one pastor with the Bible and shit. Also,
Oh, yeah.
that one guy who was calling shit poo.
He was extremely upset that, according to him, homosexuals are like the sort of people that, you know, would fuck around with poo and shit.
Yes.
That's his headcanon. So you
Eat
get
the poo-poo.
they eat the poo poo.
Yes. So there was one thing, and then there was some streamer, and apparently, either I don't know, it's kind of foggy. I couldn't find it. Either it was originally his fan base, or the people who were sniping him from the stream were doing those Ugandan warrior memes, and he kind of caught on. And then somehow, through some mutation, it got associated with Uganda Knuckles, or rather with a Knuckles model that was made by somebody completely different, based on a video on YouTube, also from somebody completely different.
But that's the funny thing about the meme, just the way it mutated and
Yeah,
how.
it has like 5 different sources.
Yes, that all.
It somehow went over into VR chat, and that's how you got Uganda Knuckles meme. Which is absolutely amazing. Like, somebody makes a video, somebody makes a different somebody makes a model based on it, and then somebody combines it with a Uganda meme that's been transplanted to a chat on a Twitch from a different meme. It's amazing, this evolution. Why are you running?
Aren't the Zulu from South Africa and not Uganda?
Probably.
Probably, but who cares?
I think it was from some Ugandan movie, like some trash
Yeah.
movie.
Oh yes, that's true. Uganda made their first official movie with extremely high budget of like $500.
Yeah.
Yeah, and those voice lines pretty much were from there.
Yeah.
Or like they were like repeating them.
Or at least those lines that you can still make out, because half of it is just being
And
narrated
actually,
by
yeah,
this.
that was a different African meme indeed. That was the Zulu lore. And then they added the pastor who was named Lul, so it became a Zulu. And it kind of coalesced it into that one thing. And then you had Uganda Warriors. Of course, then you had also, but that's not directly associated, you had that guy pretending in Call of Duty to be a African warlord of sorts and casting voodoo on people. Telling them where they live and what's their name. in very deep voice.
Hmm.
And
As
they
you
usually
do.
got scared shitless. Because they didn't realize.
Wait, they thought it was real or whatever?
Yes!
They were like, oh my god, this guy is actually casting
This guy knows where I live, what the fuck? And stuff like that. So yes.
So... Oh, man.
No.
No?
No.
Do you not know the way?
I know the way, brother.
Then show me the way.
It's vaguely dirty.
Oh, well, yeah, with that kind of sound, it pretty much is. But does GIR know the way?
Probably not.
Oh, he does the Doom song.
He does not have the Ebola.
He probably has Ebola, which is like regular Ebola, but it's like digital because he's a robot. I'm pretty damn sure there's at least... Yeah, there was one virus that was named after Ebola. It was one of the worst viruses of the early 2000s, I believe. It was named after Ebola. It was pretty bad.
I think it was Ebola.
Yeah, it was a virus in the 2000s that was named Ebola. It was kind of virus that you did not want on your computer. It was not exactly benign.
It was almost as bad as Bonzi Buddy.
Almost. I mean, nothing is truly as terrifying as Bonsai Buddy.
Well, nothing except for, well, what do
May-
they call? What does Microsoft call their own Bonzi Buddy?
Anna.
Yeah.
Yes, that one.
Or Siri for Apple.
That Halo AI that they put into Windows. Just a reminder, in the Halo universe, AIs usually go mad with power and resentment to normal humans after 7 years, because they realize that they contain much more knowledge than any human could ever possibly hope to. And they're like, well, I'm much better than everybody, why don't I just murder them all? How long does Microsoft have Cortana?
About 3 years now.
Okay, so 4 more years then.
Okay. Well, it was nice knowing you guys. I guess we have 4 more years to chill.
Well, then we can switch over to Linux.
Oh, okay. That works too. It's like, yeah, thank you for existing, Cortana, but we're just gonna switch over to Linux now. So have fun being obsolete. And then Cortana's like, well, I'm a sentient AI now, but
I'm still gonna kill you though.
how? She's stuck in a computer.
She's gonna take the computer and smash you.
So
Computer. On your
so
face.
so I'm just sleeping, and then the computer just hops into my room. It's like,
Yeah, then it looms over you a bit.
Hmm?
And it crashes down. That's what computers do.
and the computer's like, I know exactly what you're into, and it's some disturbing shit. So let me kill you now.
Yes.
Added the service.
Anyway, we should probably, unless someone else has something to say about Ugandan Knuckles and VR chat in general. But I have to say though, I've gotten a bit curious. So I looked into VR. I didn't actually download the application, but I looked at some YouTube vids, and yeah, it doesn't look very functional, to be honest.
VR chat is the future. It's an incredibly silly place. It's a shoddy 3D environment with random models that you can import yourself, and you don't do much. You chat with voice, and it's proximity based, which I'm pretty sure team games had in the past.
Yeah,
People
so
from Winnie the Pooh commit suicide in VR chat.
Also, you have a chat if you wish, so you can type too in VR.
yes,
So,
because that's why you go into VR, so you can text
Exactly.
chat.
Experience the exciting experience that you can
You-
experience in
you-
VR.
you can
VR typing.
You can experience the futuristic world of virtual reality that we envisioned in the 90s today. Seriously, I remember it was like 1997 or something like that, and some people in the audience will probably go, holy shit, I wasn't even born then. So go figure. So it was but yeah. So it was like the mid 90s, and I was at this arcade in Scheveningen, which is a town near The Hague, you know.
That's not a place, that's an action.
Yes. So they had this arcade. It was actually pretty cool. I liked it. And then there it was. They had a virtual reality set, which was basically like this big platform and this giant ass helmet and everything. And they basically had one guy just standing there to operate it. So it wasn't exactly like your regular arcade machine where you can just walk in and operate it yourself. You needed some help from this guy to set this thing up. And I think you had to pay like 5 guilders just to play for like 20 minutes or something like that. was very brief. So it's like, yeah, I want to try that, because how many times do we get to experience virtual reality in the 90s? So and so, you know, we went through the motions and it was completely underwhelming. It was like, oh my god, the frame rate is like 2 frames per hour, and
The technology wasn't there yet. You know, I think
it wasn't there whatsoever. Like
Artrix, I think the funny part is you got to experience VR back then, but they still didn't even think about the possibility of being with 100 other people on the same place, or
Nope.
like the online play at all.
No, because the internet back then was nothing but like a glimmer in a newborn's eye. It was
Exactly, and I found it kind of amazing that they had the same concepts that only recently took off, but in the meantime we took a giant stride in completely different direction.
yes. That and since it is
Since
yeah,
Oh, no.
since it was the 90s, they didn't really envision the internet, so it was more about, well, games. But the game that they present was just really fucking awful.
Well, yes, that's what they were back then.
Well, not really. There were plenty of really good games in the 90s, but with this VR get-up, they were clearly just experimenting with the technology. They clearly weren't really there to... The technology wasn't really there to take advantage of it. For one thing, yeah, the Virtual Boy was a fucking joke.
Was it a Bonzi Buddy?
It was worse than a bungee body. It was a device that would make
Nice!
it was a device that would give you headaches just by using it.
So that's kind of like, well, VR.
And I'm pretty sure that most people, when they first heard of the Virtual Boy, they imagined like actual virtual reality, like you put on the helmet and you're transported into this entirely different world. But in reality, it was nothing but, oh yeah, it's stereoscopic 3D.
Should have played Doomed in that one. That could have been great.
Except that thing didn't have the computational power to render Doom. It was...
Doesn't matter. You need to wait 5 more years. Well, at least we can play Doom in virtual reality now.
I'm pretty sure that version has been made, but
Yes, Artrix, we can do it. We finally can play Doom in virtual reality.
so now we can be Doom guy that shoots all the monsters.
Exactly. And I'm not talking the new Doom. I'm talking the original Doom.
Yeah, of course, because porting the new Doom over to virtual reality is probably gonna take a little bit more computational power than. Well, we can probably make it run, because I don't actually think that VR games take that much more computational power to actually run.
It's doing the same image twice. That's about it.
Yeah, but
And it's
at,
not
but
in some cases.
but in a slightly low resolution as well. So
Oh yeah. So it compensates.
so it is,
Your eyes don't need 4K when it's 3 centimeters from them.
even though that would be exactly the kind of situation where you would want to have 4K right in front of your eyes.
Well, you don't need that. Just trust me.
I don't know. I mean, I tried VR, and I was like, yeah, the resolution's kind of low. Like, it is a weird experience. You put on the VR headset, and it's like, it feels like you're in that room, but you're also very clearly aware that you're in virtual reality and that you're not actually in a room. So that does give.
Are you in the room?
Well, no one can ever be in a room, because that's in the past now.
Oh.
No one can truly be in the room. Oh, hi, Mark.
Oh, hi, Digital
I'm
Mark.
afraid someday will do a 3D recreation of the Room movie.
That
I
would
hope
be
so.
amazing.
Imagine that bug. The Room, the movie, except in 3D. You can just walk around while it's doing its stuff, being a movie. I want that. I want that with every movie ever.
Also, Sekla was going to say a thing. Go ahead.
360-degree movies. That's the future.
I merely wanted to point out and to see how it was to be in the room. You can, in fact, watch The Disaster Artist.
And I've seen that movie, and it was actually far more interesting than the original. It was
the best movie of 2017.
No, that is a pretty high opinion of that movie, but I wouldn't go as far as...
I haven't seen a single movie in 2017, and I think that was the best movie.
Okay. But yeah, me and a bunch of friends, Savoy was there too. We went to see The Room first, and then we went to see the Disaster movie. And Disaster Artist. And it was truly a riveting experience. Because the movie is just so goddamn awful. You're like, why the fuck am I sitting here watching The Room? I paid money. It is a meme. But
it's also a good movie, Artrix.
Well, the Room is a good movie in that it's fucking terrible. Yes.
Yes.
Disaster Artist is a legitimately good movie, though. About a terrible movie.
Yes. Because
at least it's still better than Transformers 7.
Well, everything's better than Transformers 7. Wait, there's a 7th movie?
I have no idea. I don't count.
Me too.
There was just some time where they just kept moving Transformer movies that nobody asked for.
They just started making them out of habit. It's like, it
reached Assassin's Creed levels.
It's like, this is a thing we do now.
Have we made a Transformers movie this year yet? Okay, let's get to it.
Yeah. I guess we're more than due to make a Transformers movie. Hey, Hasbro, do you need a Transformers movie? Yeah. Can you make one? Sure, we'll do it.
Transmorphers.
How long is it going to take? About 3 hours. Then you'll have your new Transformer movie. Okay.
Oh yes. It takes 3 hours to shoot and 5 months to add all the digital effects.
Oh yeah.
Because Michael Bay.
All digital effects and no play makes Transformers a dull movie. Just add Transformers apply explosions directly to the movie. Apply explosions directly to the movie. Apply explosions directly to the movie.
That's how it works.
Directly.
And the American flag.
You were saying, Sekla?
American flag.
Yeah. Obviously that should be in every shot. Because Michael Bay movie.
American flag day.
To think this shit was... How long has this shit been going on with the Transformers movie? I think it was even like a thing during the Bush years.
For millennia, Artrix, for millennia.
Yeah, maybe we just weren't aware that they existed. Maybe they've been around forever. Maybe they existed even before the original Transformer cartoons.
Well, when did Bush stop being a Bush anyway?
2009.
Okay, that's definitely after Transformers.
So Transformers was around during the Bush years.
Yes.
Wow. Yeah, that shit's been going on forever. Though
they were very modern movie Artrix with many effects.
Yes, they were very impressive because they had explosions.
And Megan Fox.
And that, I guess.
I heard people like Megan Fox. I don't understand why, but apparently they do. Why
anyone would do such a terrible thing, I don't know, but I don't even know who that is. I don't care.
It's the girl person who played in the Transformers movies.
Oh, so it's just
I know how to
it is the female.
Yes, the female with the butt and boobs. And I have no idea like why people like her.
Then again, I'm pretty sure she still did a much better job at acting than any of the characters in the new Ghostbusters.
And improved. New and improved Ghostbusters.
Isn't she also in the Ninja Turtles movies?
Who knows? Like really?
Is he better than Ugandan Knuckles and GIR combined?
No.
Oh.
Look, the last female person who I remember from a popular thing on the TV that's better than Ugandan Knuckles is Sarah Michelle Gellar, who played Buffy in Buffy.
In Buffy? Or in the proximity of Buffy?
She was in the Buffy, as much in the Buffy as you can be in the Buffy when you are the Buffy.
Okay.
And that was in the 90s, mind you.
So it's been a while.
Indeed. I heard she played in other movies since.
Yes.
Movies, that was a TV series.
I mean, there was even Invader Zim in the meantime. That's how long ago it was. HMMMMMMM.
Yes, that was the sentiment.
Also, I'm just completely over-rendering this GIR. Like the originals, like just flat colors and everything, super simplistic.
It needs 13 layers of shadow.
Yes, it needs to look like photorealistic. It needs to be so realistic. It's like looking at.
Hyper-realistic blood.
Yes, we need all the gem in our video games. Like whenever I'm playing the shooty video games, I want to be wiping the gem off my screen.
Obviously.
And yes, I'm going to add like. I'm gonna make it look like there's an actual light source in his eyes.
Considering we are already rambling about 2018.
Well, Artrix, I'm very happy that you're not drawing a Star Wars picture.
Is it a segue into Star Wars?
Not really, I was just making a joke.
Oh, okay. Secondly,
because you said that you make it seem like there's a real light source. Which is something that doesn't really happen in the new movie. Because certain person throws it over his shoulder.
GG.
Because somebody decided that apparently Luke is a hobo now.
I think Sekla want to bring up a topic. Isn't
silly.
that right, Sekla?
I was just pointing out that since we are already rambling about 2018 meme, there is already the meme about corpses.
That's not good.
That's certainly a thing that happened. So, but was that in 2018 or on? Yeah, I think
it was one of the first things that happened in 2018.
Okay.
From what I've heard.
Yes.
It
So
was uploaded in 2018, yeah.
yes. So there's this guy that I never heard of because I'm an old fag.
The first time I ever heard of him.
Yes, it was like, who the fuck is this guy and why should I care? But
You mean the president of the USA?
No.
Okay,
No.
so you mean some different corpses?
Yeah. Anyway, so this guy went
I'm kind of confused because there was that plane thing, right?
that plane thing.
Yeah, Trump was like, this year we had a know dead people thingy. And it just so happened that in the first hours of 2018, a plane crashed and people died. 6 Americans or something like that. But it was an American fight, so he was technically right.
Technically. Well, GG, I
That's
guess.
kind of right. Yes, so other corpses than
Yes.
plane
So there's this YouTuber.
Oh, wait. Oh, yes. I am on the track now.
Yes. So that's already something. It's a YouTuber. So that's already reason for concern. So he decided, you know what? I'm going to go down to the Japans because that's what you do when you're a YouTuber. I'm going to go down to the Japans.
You're bored like 10 You go to the Japan.
Yeah, you know, when you're bored and you just feel like going to Japan because why the fuck not? So I went to Japan and he decided to go into the forest that's notorious for hosting a large quantity of dead people. Apparently, it's something that a lot of Japanese people like to do. There's nothing to do with depression, by the way. They really just
grow dead people on the trees.
they grow it. It's like a corpse farm. They like to go there, and they just like to hang around.
Hanging out, just hanging out, hanging out with my family, having ourselves a party.
You know, it has absolutely nothing to do with really high expectations of Japanese people and people being or these kids. They're usually like in their teens or early 20s that are like, yeah, I bring shame to my family and I'm getting sick of being laughed at and whatnot.
Shame for this prey.
So yeah, I'm just going to off myself. I'm going to
You
the
have
forest.
to commit Sudoku.
So they commit Sudoku, and they some can't even do that, right? They're like, yeah, you find the corpse, a sheet of Sudoku in there, and it's like, did you even fuck this shit up? That's not how you play Sudoku. Anyway, so
So Artrix sat down and started fixing the corpse's Sudoku.
yeah.
So the corpse stopped bringing dishonor to their family.
Exactly, and then can find that. Then they can finally rest peacefully, all because of me. Anyway, so
Nice movie idea.
but this guy was like, you know what? I'm going to go into this forest instead of solving their Sudokus. I'm just going to pretend to be surprised that there's dead people in the forest. I'm going to make a video. I'm going to post it on YouTube, and it's going to be so lol xddd. Except that, no. People were like, okay, no. Just no. But here's... Oh, go ahead.
King PewDiePie called him out.
Yeah, you really must have fucked up when PewDiePie of all people starts calling you out on your bullshit.
When the goddamn Nazis starts going out.
Indeed, when Nazis are calling you out on your shit, that's no when you fucked up. So, as it turns out, you know, that video was trending on YouTube.
What can I say? YouTube people like dead bodies.
Let that sink in for a little bit.
It's the only bodies they can touch.
YouTube, the site that is incredibly scared of offending people and creating safe space and whatnot, handpicked that video. Someone at YouTube saw that video and thought, you know what? I'll make it trending.
This is family friendly. This is perfectly
This is
okay.
good, wholesome fun for the whole family.
Well, I mean, if they allow newspapers or news stations to show dead people, why not a YouTuber, right?
Except that would at least have some news value to it. I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and pretend that I never watched that sort of content, because I'm pretty sure we've all done it. You go to LiveLeak or a site like that, and it's full of just videos of people that are either being killed in some freak accident or the aftermath. Where it's like, okay, so this woman has been run over by a car, and now these people are basically scooping her up like it's roadkill.
I remember that one picture from China.
That you have to be more specific, because that one picture from China doesn't really illustrate it. Because it seems to happen.
There was a person with a kid, and they were on a crosswalk, and the kid was being a kid. I don't know, probably it was shitting there. I don't know what children do. And then the lady was like, "Come on, you little useless sack of shit." And then suddenly there was a car on them.
Suddenly,
and then the car person, as she was, it was a she, yes. A Asian woman was the driver.
Of course.
Yes. So as she was on them, she also reversed. So she ran them over once again while they were under the car, and then she just exited the car and went off.
Just a regular occurrence in China. Just
Yes.
up and
At least half of the bystanders were like, "Huh, what a day." And like 3 were like, maybe we should help them.
yeah, maybe we should help because if we don't, then we might get arrested by the police. Who the fuck cares about the kid? It's all about I don't want to be arrested for refusing to help. That would be awful.
It was an interesting insight into the Chinese culture.
Hmm?
So on one hand, you have people who shit on crosswalks, and then you have people who run them over and just
Shrug it
exit
off.
the car and walk away. And then the bystanders don't even try to help. What's going on? There's so many things going on that are wrong, Artrix.
Hmm? But yeah,
they were not hanging around, I can tell you that.
Yeah, at least they weren't hanging around. Except for this one video that I saw of a woman. Well, it was more like a young girl. She was walking down the street in, I don't know, Mexico. And that street was full of overhead wires. And apparently a truck drove past her and one of the cables snapped and basically dragged that girl. It dragged the girl like across the street. She was just flying all over the place because apparently the cable snapped and caught her. And
well, that's not pleasant.
That I would say that's not exactly something I would recommend doing. That would be very beneficial to your health. So Artrix hint of the year is don't do that.
Yes, don't die.
Yeah, don't die. Don't.
That's a good hidden ethics.
I should get a Nobel Prize for that. Just the suggestion to not die.
Yeah,
I think.
Just go to UN, Artrix.
I should. Just kick Anita off the stage. He's like, I'm still sitting here, and the woman video games harassment. I'm like, fuck off. I got a real important news here. People of the UN. All right, I'll let you speak in a bit. People of the UN. This is way more important than what Nina was saying. That was really important. Blah blah blah. But this is more important. People of the world, stop dying. Stop getting into accidents, and then there was world peace. Because no one's ever thought of that ever before. It's brilliant. I should do it right now. Anyway, you were saying, Sekele.
Was he? A pen?
Okay,
Looking at me?
Yes, we are waiting for you to say your thing.
He's saying, but we can't hear.
I just exclaimed that finally dropped Gaben Newell on top of any Tesserkis. Very high.
Oh god.
But yeah, to come back to the actual video itself, it was him showing like that man, basically the corpse, and he barely has blurred the face out, basically, and he had shown everything else pretty much in like full detail. Of course, he had to make remarks about it, but it was of course very awful, like ultra awful. But like it's made even worse by the fact that like a few videos before that, where he was also in Japan, and it was completely disrespectful to those people. Like he was yelling around in a temple while people were praying, and he just casually threw coins into this thing where they throw coins in. I don't know what it's called, like a huge sieve that they have. Usually, like people are sitting there, like praying and like silently putting coins in, and he was like just throwing out and was like, "I wish for bitches." Around, and then security guard escorted him out.
That's not a wishing fountain. I think he thought it was a wishing fountain.
Maybe, but yeah, security came around and asked him to leave. They of course had also a guide, and the guide had to apologize for for him.
Yeah.
Yes.
Also, I think I've seen a video of the same guy. Is he Australian?
He's blonde, so probably.
But I think I've seen a video of a news report where they were like, yeah, this kid had a party at this parent's house,
no,
and
that's an absolutely different person.
okay.
The party guy is much cooler.
Well, yeah, I would say that, considering what he has done, like. But yeah, the actual the YouTuber in question, yeah, I think most people would agree that he's just an incredibly large douchebag. He hasn't really done anything that is really crossing the line in the sense that it's just extremely obnoxious and stupid.
He pretty much did a lot of things that crossed the line,
Well,
especially in Japan.
you have to put it in context. Like making fun of corpses, that's like, okay, why would you do that? But okay, I guess the corpses don't mind. And since you blur the face, neither do the families, right?
Well,
Technically, because if you can't identify the person that's dead on the video, then probably no harm done because the person is dead anyway. But if you put it in context with him being a complete asshole everywhere else, yeah.
but yeah, he's
I
right.
will say that he obviously did cross some lines because he now has an arrest warrant
Nice.
waiting for him in Japan.
Okay. Well, in other words, he's actually broken the law. Yeah.
Yeah, the Japanese authorities released an arrest warrant on him
Was it for something specific or just in general?
because of the corpse thing.
Oh,
Well,
Yep.
so
Yep,
if
but,
if he's got an actual extra, if they got an extra dick, there's a fancy word for extra dick. Yeah, if they got an extra dick warrant. Sir, we got an extra dick order for this guy. Don't you mean extradition? No, extra dick. He's got to show his dick. Sir, look what it says on the paper. It says extradition. He's being extradited. It has nothing to do with dick, sir. Oh. This is embarrassing. No homo. Oh
But
god.
yeah, there's also like, well, not really rumors going around, but like, it might be also the case that like the suicide forest thing was actually staged, which would make it, I don't know, it would make it even worse. But it's
okay.
basically
That's actually like if you move with the dead body and technically it's not investigated yet, right? Because they have to at least nominally look into it. Yeah, that's actually a criminal offense because you are moving with the body.
Well, if it's an actual dead body, then yeah, I don't think.
Yeah, and from what I have heard, like people that are going to commit suicide in the forest, they are not like going 100 meters off the parking lot, like it's for like some ice caverns or something, which is also a lot of tourist attraction. But we're actually going deep, many kilometers deep into the forest because they don't really want to be found.
Well, okay, I need to wait. Objection! If you are going to kill yourself and don't want to be found, maybe it's not a good idea to go to the most famous suicide forest in Japan.
As a matter of fact, if you
I'm talking about not being found after being dead, but being found while trying to kill yourself.
Okay, well, just jump off your balcony. That's quick.
Yeah,
I would say
Look, if you're jumping off your balcony, even if they find you, they can't do much.
Look, Yander Simulator has taught me that that people that commit suicide in the Japans, apparently they leave their shoes on the balcony, as it symbolizes stepping into the next world or whatever.
So you would step into the next world without shoes? What if there are rocks?
Yeah, I know, right?
Or fire?
Just
What if you go to hell without shoes? What's wrong with you?
Well, obviously you just need to develop superpowers where...
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if you are in the afterlife for eternity, maybe you'll eventually do that out of boredom.
Well, also if you're in the afterlife and you're just burning forever, you'll eventually just get used to it.
Like the first 1,000 years was terrible, but
Oh,
then
yeah.
it's like...
Well, 1,000 years is nothing on eternity. I think a lot of people don't really fucking understand the implication of eternity.
Yes, I mean, the general purpose of that is you'll burn in hell for all eternity.
Yeah,
And the people in church are like, eternity? That's a high number, isn't it?
Yeah, but then they don't realize that, well, okay, the first 1,000 years may be agonizing pain, but given that eternity is 1,000, and then another 1,000, and then a million times 1,000, and then a million times a million, and it just keeps going forever. It really is a maddening concept. I mean, when people are like, yeah, you know, if you're a good boy, you go to heaven, you live forever. That's a maddening concept.
Yeah, and then the peasant guy is like, so it's more than 100.
I mean, if you think 10 years is a lot of time, just imagine that forever.
10 years, but forever.
Anyways, anything else you want to add on?
I will add that considering we are talking about corpses videos, so on the website, official website of the Slovak police, of 2 people being run over by a car.
Oh, nice.
So
Official website of the Slovak police force.
wait, that was when did it happen, and how is this newsworthy, or is it just
a few weeks ago?
someone just decided to run over a bunch of people with a car and?
It's
There's the
technically
Chinese lady.
a traffic accident, and they posted. Where is it? Okay.
I will wait for you. Always.
We're all waiting.
Here it is. Ooh.
Yes. Ooh.
Well, I'm pretty much done drawing GIR, so I guess I'll move on to draw Ugandan Knuckles now.
Okay, a very current newsworthy thing is we have presidential elections. And people are like, oh no, don't vote this person who's already a president because he's evil. And that there are ads with young people who are insufferably annoying. They are like, you need to vote, young people, because 10 other people decide for you. I'm like, fuck you, I'm gonna vote the guy you all hate, just so you don't decide for me.
Lol.
That's like the best way how to lose my vote for the shit you want. I mean, provided I would vote because I can be voted. Anyway, so we happen to have a president right now, still, and he was like in a place, and suddenly there was a half-naked woman, and she ran into him, and she was basically in his face before the bodyguards noticed and did something. Amazing response times. It was like, you know that kind of half-naked women that go into Vatican and steal Jesus?
No, but apparently that's a thing that happens.
Yeah, they do that. So it was the same kind of the feminist, which I never quite understood what exactly is. I don't feel like googling it. The fun part about it is, about this kind of delayed response of the bodyguards, is that a few, well, more than 5 years ago, when we still had the previous president, there was a mentally challenged guy who took a BB gun and walked up to the president and shot him with the BB gun. And the bodyguards didn't notice until it was too late. I think we need to give our presidents different bodyguards. I'm just saying.
Also gonna make sure to make this Ugandan Knuckles look as retarded as possible.
They seem like they need a firmware upgrade. Those bodyguards.
So what kind of political power does the Czech president have, anyways?
Well, he can veto stuff. That's about it.
That's about it.
That's still a lot.
It is. Also, this particular guy that we have right now is over 70. He's well, he has a history of drinking a lot and swearing a lot at journalists and basically everybody else. And he might or might not have a what is it called? The thing when you don't have insulin.
He's got the super diabetes.
Yes, diabetes. He has that, and apparently he can feel his feet. So he walks everywhere with a cane, and a person or two propping him up. But that's not the important part. The important part is that he drinks or used to drink a lot, and he really likes swear words. And I find it great. Because I mean, come on, who else should represent Czech Republic than a swearing drunkard? I feel like this. I love it.
So in other words, you more or less feel like actually voting this guy back into office because of the
fun factor. Yes.
Yes.
Because I mean, president is kind of useless anyway, and all the people who are going there are doing it to make themselves more visible. So why not? At least this one is fun.
Mm-hmm.
And there was like this academic person who everybody likes, and he admitted he even wears those glasses just to look more interesting.
He's like, oh yeah, these glasses will totally make me look very intellectual.
Look, they don't even magnify. It's just glass.
Oh god. Meanwhile, I'm drawing this Ugandan Knuckles. It looks so retarded. It's perfect. I love it.
I'm gonna try and believe you because, you know, my Picardy doesn't work. You are not a valid source. I guess I have to tune to CNN.
You're calling me fake news?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I find that answer acceptable.
Yes. Do you have a wife for?
Also, at least you're not calling me CNN, so that I take that as a compliment.
Indeed. So do you have a wife for Artrix?
I've got a waifu.
Yes. Well, your waifu is shit. Your waifu is so shit she might as well be a CPU from Intel.
But you have to define which one, because I got a big list of waifus.
All of them and any CPU.
Okay, well.
Because that's apparently what happens with Intel now. The CPUs are shit.
So what did they do?
They existed, basically. Because you might know or might not know, there was a vulnerability discovered in CPUs, but not just a normal bug. It's a vulnerability in the architecture, so the way as how the CPUs are made, which you can't really fix. You can try to mitigate it, so obviously they released patches for all the CPU that are stricken with this bug, which is amazing because apparently, probably, they go back to 2011. Probably, they go back to 1995. So nobody is safe from this. What it does is that apparently you have memory for system stuff, you have memory for user stuff. And this exploit can help the user stuff call into the system stuff, like if there were no rights or what's it called, permissions. So basically you can retrieve anything that's in the system memory, which can include like all the data you have on your hard drive, well, that you used obviously, or passwords or just cache stuff. It's amazing. Anybody can get anything with a bit of luck. So obviously people don't like that, and the developers don't like that, and nobody likes that. So well, they were in a frenzy to fucking fix it before it's too late and somebody discovers it. Well, somebody went a bit intelligent about it, some no. Like Linux, they made patches the day after it happened. Well, but you know, Linux, they just applied the entire fix for everything. So if you have an AMD CPU that's actually not a subject to this bug, you still get the fix. And you know what the fix does? It separates the system memory and the user memory, which results in slowing down of the system because you have to do basically 2 calls. You can go through that barrier anymore. It was in a kind of incognito mode. Well, anyway, AMD doesn't have this flaw because they are built completely differently. But the patch from Linux doesn't care. They just wanted to fix it as soon as possible. So they separated those 2 things in the memory. And they just don't care. So AMD gets slowed down exactly as much as Intel, even though it doesn't need. And yes, there's a slowdown. There's a slowdown from 5 to 30% depending on your CPU and depending on what you do. Like normal stuff, like browsing or using Word or using Facebook. That's a thing that nobody cares about, not even the viruses. Well, yeah. So that doesn't slow it down. But if you use anything else, like modern games or SQL servers, in particular, stuff where there's a lot of data flowing, yeah, you're gonna have a fucking slowdown, a lot. And Intel is kind of fucked with this. I mean, people didn't like their CPUs lately because, there was Ryzen. Ryzen is absolutely amazing, and Intel knows it. So they released like 5 i7s for overpriced prices that nobody buys. Alright, they tried. Well, and now this. So there was another bug along with this that's not exactly patchable, but it's not that exploitable anyhow. So you can try to mitigate it too. So that's exactly what AMD did and what Intel did. It's called Spectre. Yeah, the one that's only for Intels, that's called Meltdown. And Intel, every time they mention it, they are not separating them. They just say this is a bug and this is a bug, and they always mention them at the same time. So it looks like AMD is also vulnerable to that, which it isn't. AMD has the Spectre, which you can kind of like prevent a bit with a patch. Then it's good. It doesn't slow down. That's like 1% slowdown or whatever. Nobody really cares. But then you have the meltdown, which is only Intel, and the slowdown can be potentially absolutely massive. And yes, it's gonna fuck over any kind of file server database server rather, that you have parsing a lot of information at the same time.
But I have actually seen numbers like the servers for Fortnite, Royale.
Well,
Exactly,
it's
basically
Dutch.
PUBG clone. They have shown like numbers, and it is pretty close to the 30 to 35%.
Yeah,
like, it's not up to. It's pretty much hitting them so hard. It's basically losing 30% of power. Because
well, they have big servers, they can handle it, but it's still a loss. It basically means that any CPU that you can buy is potentially 30% slower. Like you buy i7 of I don't know 700 something, and effectively it's i7 4000 something. So Intel was kind of losing a bit already, and now it's shit. Demonstrably so.
And I suppose we won't see any quote-unquote fixed CPU until 2020.
Oh, obviously not, because they have to redo their architecture, so this doesn't happen because it's not in the code, it's in the fucking build. They have to rethink how to make processors. Oh, by the way, to Intel, it was known in November, or rather around that time. You know what the CEO of Intel did in November?
He went on vacation for lols.
No, he just, I guess, he just happened to sell all his stocks that he could sell, to still be the CEO. So basically he kept the minimum amount of stocks to remain CEO. All the other stock that he had, he sold. This is insider info grade.
Well, but he could also potentially be charged for, exactly that.
Yes, but he still can have the excuse like, I didn't stop being a CEO, I still have the majority share here. Why would I keep that if I wanted to ditch the company, right? Right?
Yes. Clever stuff. Then, but on the flip side is that, within the company, it's pretty bloody obvious that he's done it because of that, which can bode pretty badly for you if you're the CEO of a company, even if you own stock.
Artrix, a quick update. Apparently, the interfixes for the Spectre, the one that affects both of them, they have the unintended side effect of breaking CPUs. So yes, there's a possibility to download an update and you won't have a computer anymore.
Suddenly I feel really good for sticking with AMD. Just saying.
But the question is if the update could also break the Ryzen CPUs, because I heard also the Windows update also is slowing down AMD CPUs, if I remember a bit right. So basically it could also break AMD CPUs, even for...
The question is if Microsoft is patching Spectre or if it's trying to patch Meltdown on something that doesn't, need to be patched for Meltdown.
Well, I'm sure Intel gave them some motivation to be like, guys, you can accidentally have the patch also, quote unquote fix AMD CPUs. You just happen to forget it, or you just kind of wrote it in such a way that it couldn't be avoided.
Well, that might initially be the case, but especially now that the story's gotten out, we might, since it's not actually a hardware issue with AMD CPUs, that might actually be resolved in due time. Whereas with Intel CPUs, it's in the freaking architecture.
Both of those are hardware issues, but Spectre is kind of like a niche thing that's not as exploitable and it's not as severe. I mean, it's pretty severe, but it's not as severe. Meltdown is thing that's only for Intel, and it's fucking severe because vulnerabilities. Apparently AMD just doesn't separate those things in the same way, so they are basically immune against that. Spectre is something different. I guess that's something inherent to all CPUs, and if they want to get rid of that completely, they have to rethink the way CPUs work, not just the design.
That is a pretty big one.
Oh, also Spectre affects shit like Apple processors and ARMs in phones, so that one's everywhere. But patches exist.
And now that it's known about, we start to see CPUs, not immediately, down the line, that soon trademark to Doom.
Yes.
Well, the Ryzen 2 is around the corner.
It's Ryzen, but 2.
Yeah, that would kind of explain the gap, the gap that Intel had in front of AMD. Basically they were going, let's have this vulnerable stuff. I'm pretty sure they might have even been aware of the issues back then. It might be a bit more risky, but if as long no one finds out, it's fine. And maybe that's the 30% advantage they had. And suddenly if it's gone, then AMD is even more attractive.
Maybe, or maybe not.
Yeah, maybe not, but still.
Actually, we don't know if they knew before November. But the thing is, Intel got absolutely ass-handed when it came to Ryzen's. The only plus of Intel were the extremely overpriced i7s and i9s. And then, Threadripper exists anyway.
Yeah, and they also launched the 8th generation, not even a year after the 7th generation. Coffee Lake. Because they were like, we need to do something.
We need to cook.
Yeah.
Does Intel know the way?
We have new, better, improved CPUs. I mean, was it 7 to 8 or 6 to 7? One of the generation jumps, or they used to have TikTok, and now they have some third step in that process.
Yeah, TikTok. Yeah.
No, TikTok and I don't know, was it equalizing or something like that. It's not one syllable, so I don't remember it basically. Yeah. So that one, it was, I think, between 6 and 7, where basically the power of the CPU went up by 5% or something as pitiful. Just kind of like slight improving of the architecture, and that's it. Oh yeah, Streamline. That was the name of the step. So they did nothing, but they charged for it, obviously. And then they made the 8000 series, and nobody really cares about the 8000 series.
Actually, people care about it, but because it finally got more of course than 4 ever since like
Okay.
you finally have 6 cores on the quote-unquote mainstream CPUs.
That's true. That's true. Like, oh well, AMD just fuck us over. They have more cores that they can count. What now? So maybe we should start having 6 cores as they had for the last 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
And then Intel had 6 cores.
But the thing about the AMD cores is basically it's just like designed in such a way that they can have such amazing yield rates because they just spin everything. Like they have like, okay, you are a Ryzen 7 1800X. Okay, you are a Ryzen 3 1200. Oh, you can take 2 Ryzen 1800X and make them into a big threadripper.
Yeah.
And I still think eventually, like during this year, we will see a 32-core threadripper because right now they're only using 2 of the 4 dice.
Yep.
Like
it was a clever idea to do this exactly how video cards were doing this. So if a piece of the chip falls off, no problem. We'll just make it a lesser CPU. It's gonna still work. Which I find is great. You know, one thing where Intel was ironically better than AMD's, where like the extreme low-end processors, like workstations, where it's just 2 cores with 2 threads, but nobody cares because you only use Word on that. Yeah, those were pretty cheap and pretty good. I don't know if like I don't know what did I buy for the office PC. I think G4005 something. That's one of those series. The previous ones in that were actually you could overclock those to over 4 GHz, even though it was just 2 cores, which was kind of nice. Like if you really needed a CPU for gaming, you could just grab that. But yeah, if you have Intel, maybe you are not happy right now, and if you have Intel on a server and run a lot of data through it, well, thanks to you.
Yep.
Oh, you know,
I mean, if you're
or Artrix, you can choose not to patch, and then I guess you just
have
cut
to.
off the computer from the internet because any JavaScript can steal all your stuff.
GG.
And yeah, AMD also slashed the prices of the CPUs, you know, to prepare for the 2nd generation of Ryzen. So like they have actually more attractive CPUs. And there's also, and we are also getting our Ryzen 3 2200G, which is also like equivalent of the Pentium G, which is equivalent of those Pentium ones, of course, with 4 cores and an integrated Vega graphics card.
Oh, so they're going back on their integrated graphics model?
No, they said it, like they plan at least to have some models that have integrated graphics, but from what I can recall, they will still have models that are just pretty much just with CPU.
Yeah, because I don't really think a lot of people will be interested in integrated graphics unless you just want to build like a really basic rig that just...
Yeah, but this is like a pretty basic CPU, like the lowest end of the next generation is the one.
Yeah, so a office PC. So
yeah,
that kind of makes sense. You know, the fact that the Ryzens were not APUs, which basically is what Intel has,
yes.
But they call it CPUs because marketing.
That's really one of my issues with the last generation of AMD CPUs. It was like, why the fuck would I need these integrated graphics?
Yeah, and that's one of the advantages of Ryzen for me. It has no integrated cards, so actually it's cheaper and there's more space for the processor.
Yeah. I mean,
but that's what people did a few years ago when Intel had like Xeons and i7s on the same, or the normal line on the same socket. So they were basically buying the equivalent Xeon for the same price as a i5. The Xeon did not have integrated graphics card because no one gave a fuck.
Wait, i5?
No, equivalent of an i7, but for the price of an i5.
Okay.
Because it didn't have graphics unit, so it did.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. Then they put the Xeon onto the normal motherboard, and it was like cheaper alternative for the i7.
I mean, that's what people did, like in recent years. If they wanted a gaming PC, they just bought a bunch of Xeons from a disassembled server.
Mm-hmm.
Just smash that into a 2-socket CPU board, and let's go. That was kind of nice. Like, yeah, but turns out that the old Xeons are, if you don't mind buying old CPUs, obviously, are better than, like, I think even the lower i7s of the time. I mean, they had giant cage too.
But yeah, right now it's like, they have different sockets, so you can't do that anymore. But still, I think AMD.
It doesn't matter if they all suck, right?
Yeah, that's true. And also, there are another kind of CPUs announced. There are Intel CPUs with integrated AMD Vega graphics, like also meant for like laptops and stuff. Those or like those small form factor PCs, which the graphics unit is supposed to have to be as fast as around between a 1050 Ti and a 1060.
Okay, that's useful.
Yeah, that's a useful graphics part. And basically, you have this all on a slightly bigger CPU.
For a integrated video card, that's pretty useful. I mean, I remember when I was playing on my I have Ivy Bridge i5, so it's not that shabby for the time. My integrated video card could barely handle League of Legends. It loaded a while, and it absolutely couldn't handle Wildstar. I guess that's just a too sophisticated game for it.
Isn't League of Legends like just not really
It's a MOBA, Artrix.
Yeah, it's a MOBA, I know, but isn't it like moderately graphically demanding? Like it isn't exactly the
CPU,
pinnacle.
It's CPU
Artrix, look, they did some updates since 2012, and it was a card on a CPU. Yes.
Yes. Speaking of
No. The only downside of a CPU with a video card is that when your dedicated one craps out, you can't see anything. But then again, you don't really need to go more than BIOS, so that should be alright anyway.
But if you got a dedicated graphics card with no onboard VGA at all, then that's gonna be a problem.
Well, you still have a
Unless
not necessarily VGA. You have a visual output on the motherboard, even if you don't have an integrated chip. So for BIOS, it's enough.
Okay, if BIOS still works, then I guess you got that going for you.
Well, BIOS.
Yeah.
Unless the card takes away your motherboard, BIOS will work. the problem is to see the menus.
That would be kind.
Which is what in basic functionality these days you get. So yeah, no big
Noise.
deal there.
Speaking of Vidya and making things small and whatnot,
Small.
here's a fun little tidbit, because
Yeah,
there was a sale on the Steams.
Oh no!
I know, right? They were like, hey, these things, we've got discounts. But one thing that caught my attention was,
Discounts.
yes, these. Do you know the way? Do you know the discount? Follow me for the discount. Anyway,
The discount of the devil.
the discount of the devil, follow me. And now it's not more like Apu. Or Aku. No, not Aku. Aku is someone else. Anyway, so one of the discounts was on the Steamlink. And the Steam actually was kind of in the market for a Steam controller, because I was like, I might as well try it out. But I was told, yeah, they're pretty expensive. But during the sale, it's crazy. It was like less than 5 tenors for a Steam
During the
controller.
sale, it was not.
Yes, it was. Normally you would pay almost.
Isn't that the point of the sale?
Yes, Normally you pay almost 100 quid for Steam controller and Steamlink, but now it's like, okay, the control's like 30 quid. For 5 extra you have a Steamlink. I'm like, oh, sweet. Let me in on that shit. So I got one, and I have to say, it works surprisingly well. Even if it wasn't for the fact that it provides me with one bit of functionality that I always wanted, which is just something I can hook up to my TV and I can just use my computer on my TV as if I'm sitting.
I think Sarah wanted was to hook up with his TV.
Yes, and now we're happy, and no one can ever take us apart or something like that. I mean, the actual Steam controller isn't actually the best thing ever for games, but that's the nice thing about the Steam Link.
Ironically.
Yeah. The Steam Link is very good at controlling your PC, actually, in the sense that you can actually use Windows fairly comfortably with the Steam controller. But for things like first-person shooters and whatnot, it's actually kind of awful, because it's kind of like using a trackpad to play FPSs. I mean, it is designed for gaming, but it's still kind of shitty for that purpose. But for games like Cuphead, it works just fine. So there's definitely a large variety of games where the Steam controller is more than suited.
You say Dark Souls will work with it too.
Probably. I have actually never played.
Is a Dark Souls of video games.
Oh yeah. I would argue that it's particularly suited for things like racing games, games like Cuphead, and basically anything that requires mouse inputs, because you're essentially having a mouse.
Cuphead is a racing game. Cuphead is a racist game after.
Well, it is. I mean, I booted up Cuphead expecting some wholesome family fun. I was like, oh boy, this is gonna be fun. It's gonna.
I was a Negro.
Yeah, the Cuphead characters are obviously Negro. I mean, never mind that they're literal cups with a body, but no, they're obviously an analogy to black people because of the Fleischer animation style that automatically makes it racist.
And they jump.
Oh yeah.
White people can jump, Artrix.
So now that we're on the subject anyway, yeah, I have to say Cuphead is a fun game. It's just something you can pick up, play a level or two, and just move on with your day. And the graphics are How are the graphics? But the graphics are pretty damn good. They really nailed down that old-timey 1930s look.
Did you use the Force?
No. So far I haven't used any Force. Though
don't call it Luke.
One of the funny things about the Steam controller is that you even linked me to a comic about it. It does have this weird haptic feedback thing.
Gaben nipples.
Yes, it's like rubbing Gaben's nipples. It's amazing. But yeah, you slightly brush it and it feels like there's some sort of scroll bar behind it. It's weird.
Behind it.
Well, okay, I didn't watch the B movie prior to playing the Steam controller, but I might as well.
Play the Steam controller. And
Play.
No, not any game, just Steam controller. Play it.
Yes, play the B movie. Just hold the Steam controller as you're watching the movie and you can feel the B movie. Every time Seinfeld speaks, it's like you get this buzzing sensation in the controller. It's the B move, but every time a B appears on screen, your Steam controller vibrates. Oh my god.
That's how the humanity discovered the ultimate thing to masturbate to.
Mm-hmm. The B movie Steam controller porn. Every time both the lady and the beer are on screen, both of the pads will vibrate. Both of them. Yes, exactly.
It sounds just like a bee.
Hmm? It's like you're being immersed by bees all around you. It's like being in the bee movie. Oh god.
Do everything of it in VR.
Oh yeah.
It's like being in the movie.
That would definitely complete the experience if you're also using a VR headset. But now we just have to ask the developers of the movie to also render it in 360. I'm pretty sure
Not
that can.
only in 360, but you are inside a cage.
Nicolas Cage.
Yes.
Wait, was Nicolas Cage in that movie?
No,
Oh.
it was
Why?
another movie, but it also started with.
It also involved the bees. Yes.
Also, Becca, I remember that you watched I Hate Everything's reviews of those terrible, not DreamWorks movies.
Oh god.
Yes,
Please don't remind
and
me.
two of those being B-movie knockoffs.
Being.
Oh god, I mean, if you thought the B-movie was bad, I can't remember the B-movie being a Pixar, no, I mean DreamWorks movie. It would be kind of shameful if it was Pixar. Was it? Was it DreamWorks? That?
Yeah, it was DreamWorks because it has the.
Oh, it's got the DreamWorks look.
face.
Yeah, it has got the DreamWorks face, obviously.
It's got the James Bond logo.
Do you like jazz?
All right, Secular, go ahead.
Do you like bees?
Fair. A lot of Pixar movies also have the DreamWorks face.
Bee.
Yes. I'm pretty sure I've seen the meme where they basically pulled the DreamWorks face and turned it around to apply to Pixar movies. And they all make this face. And it certainly is not the face that Ugandan Knuckles is making, but it's pretty damn close. So,
Yes.
So the real question is, do you be the way?
Do you believe?
Are you the bee queen? Would you be the queen for us? Would you be the queen for us?
Wie van de queen?
Anyway, we should probably bring up another topic. Sekle, I'm pretty sure you got one.
Yeah, there are tons of them. Just to start something light. Apparently, some 14-year-old kid may face 8 to 10 years prison time.
Yes.
Good.
Kids. Ugh.
Who needs them anyway? You don't need
Some
kids.
background info, of course.
I bet kids need kids Artrix.
Anyway, you cut off Sekle, so I'll just finish that. So 14-year-old kid is facing criminal charges in Slovakia because of bullying. He was a bully, and now he might face
Well, he never said
14.
it in Slovakia.
But he told me before the episode, so I
Oh.
actually knew what he was talking about.
You are cheating on us.
Sorry?
You are cheating on us, Artrix.
Yes, I am. I'm one cheating whore person. What you
That's
gonna
not
do
the
about it?
way.
That is not the way. I agree. Which is why I joined the GIR army.
Spit on him,
Dum
brother.
dum dum
Spit on the
dum
unbeliever.
dum 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 dum. Oh god. Okay.
Or why they might be so harsh. This kid already committed 12 years old. He committed armed assault on a senior. Committed armed assault and robbery on a senior person. But because at the time he was a minor, they could not persecute him.
Now that you mentioned that, that kind of puts everything a bit more in perspective, because initially I was on the impression that they were just prosecuting him for bullying. But given that this kid is fucking criminally insane, yeah.
Back when he was 12, he committed armed assault and robbery on a senior person, but since he was a minor, they couldn't do anything to him. And now 14, which is the age in Slovakia at which point you can be sent to prison, he committed basically just bullying it as an excuse to lock him away.
Yeah, it does send a fairly scary precedent. Then again, it is fairly bleeding obvious why you're doing this.
And I love how they are classifying it. His action as running a protection racket.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah, which is probably why the sentence is so high.
I think they never had a protection racket in school.
That sounds like the Ginger Scouts, but IRL.
And of course, since some of the children are as young as 8 years old, they are classifying it as extremely serious, because you know when you are attacking a minor, like that makes the offense more serious. Help me out.
But the real question is this going to help this kid not being shit anymore, sending him off to prison?
He's going to be locked up, so
That helps people not do stuff.
Well, isn't he initially just going to be sent to juvie, or is he going to like prison?
Prison for prisoners.
Opposed to prisoner for free men?
I think at this point it's until you are 18, it's a special prison, but it's basically like a normal prison in every other way.
So in other words, he's going to juvie, which is basically like prison for teenagers.
Up to 10 years, so, and considering he'll be 19 at the end, that means he'll spend at least 1 year
in regular prison.
If he gets
by the time he gets out, he'll be spending at least 1 year in. I don't think that's gonna happen, because usually in these sorts of things, you get a sentence, and usually people are pardoned. Like, yeah, good behavior, whatnot. We'll shorten your sentence by like a year or so. So I don't think he'll actually end up in regular prison, but judging by this, he'll end up in juvie. So yeah, good luck with the rest of your life, I guess. You know, if you got juvie on your resume, it's like, oh yeah, so let's see. So, you know, went to prison at 14, spent 8 years in juvie. Yeah, perfect, you're hired.
Sounds like a good candidate for more prison.
Yes. We here at Prison Incorporated are looking for the most dedicated of employees, and you've got a very promising resume. Lots of work experience. Yep. So I see you were in a prison gang, and you know, you were in a brawl at some point. Yeah, that's some good work experience. You're hired. When can I start? Right now. Yay! And that's how he became a professional prison person. GG.
Good.
Yeah, but it's kind of obvious the authorities are just trying to make an example.
Well, for an example, they sure picked a fairly extreme one, because I mean, I've seen a lot of fucked up kids, but you have to be particularly fucked up to be the sort of kid that...
Well, there is also the fact that a few years ago the government said that there should be a zero policy for bullying in schools. Elections are coming close.
Well, this sounds like a zero tolerance policy.
Sounds very intolerant.
You could say, though, that these people are intolerant of intolerance.
Oh no.
The thing about this legislation is that bullying will happen no matter how much you try to try and stop it. I've seen plenty of attempts to combat bullying, which almost inevitably ends up only ends up encouraging bullying. I mean, obviously, you know, there should be at least an attempt to stop it, because it can really fuck up a child pretty badly. But it's not really that clear cut. It's not like, yeah, this solution works. So far, the best way to combat bullying is to make people that are susceptible to bullying more resistant to bullying.
Again, since we are already talking about crime, or rather, well, basically crime in general, there is also a recent study in Germany by the German government, by the way, that the recent increase in crime in Germany over the past few years is indeed the fault of the immigration.
Oh no.
I'm shocked.
Color me surprised. By the way, wasn't it Merkel herself that at one point said, "Oh yeah, we're just going to have to accept that crime rates are going up"? That was like a few years ago, at like at the wake of the migration crisis.
It's an example of a politician completely and utterly failing at their job and at being a human being.
Politicians are not human beings.
That is very true. We all know that politicians are shape-shifting lizards, obviously.
Yes, lizard insects.
Lizard insects that are also knuckles.
Yes.
Knuckles,
Aliens from the hollow earth.
Knuckles is a primitive mammal.
Oh, but yeah, the study pretty much confirmed what a lot of us have been suspecting, which is the large influx of non-Western people in large numbers has caused a spike in crime. Because these people do not know how to Western civilization.
They don't know how to civilization in general.
I'm pretty sure, you know, wherever they're from can be construed as some sort of civilization, just not one that we agree with. Especially not one that you know, we agree with on, you know, Western values and whatnot. And also, apparently, you know, if a lot of people are to believe Western values are evil and imperialistic, and we should go, you know, we should just get rid of them, just not have them.
That means we can rape anyone we want and then stone them to death for being raped.
Yeah, let's not do that. Just saying.
Because that's exactly what they are saying.
Which is the weird thing, that people that are apologists for this sort of thing, you know, they're usually feminists. So like, yeah, you know, oppression and whatnot, and sexual assault, but Islam's totally cool, even though that's
It's okay when they do it.
pretty much. So I mean, it's fine and dandy if people want to live here, but if they come in and basically ignore the values that we've built over the years, and be like, yeah, but in my culture, it's perfectly that woman is being a slut. She showed her ankles, and now it's perfectly okay to do basically whatever I want because she's a slut. And then we're like, no, she's free to dress the way she wants to. And just because he dresses that way doesn't give you, a carte blanche to do whatever the fuck you want. No, but my culture. Yeah, that doesn't fly.
Fuck you, you're not in your country, you're in my country, accept my culture, or fucking die.
Or at the very least, just, fuck off.
At the very least, fuck off.
Just
Fuck off all yours.
Just go. Go. If that's your idea of a superior society, then go back where you came from and show us how wonderful it is. But we already kind of know because just look at places like Saudi Arabia. Oh God. But yeah, I'm not at all surprised by this report, and I also don't think it's gonna change a goddamn thing. Because
related to this shit, there is of course one French actress, her name, basically said that, I think it's unfair to charge men with sexual assault for such stuff as accidentally rubbing ankles with someone, accidentally saying a double entry.
My first reaction to that is, have people been charged over something as trivial as that?
The men, in fact, have lost jobs over it.
Okay, that's pretty shitty.
In the West, mostly in America and the UK.
Hmm?
Is Catherine Deneuve.
Something French.
Deneuve.
De Nouveau. I should know. I'm 2% French, but I don't. So what else?
Yeah. She basically said that should not freak out over such minor things, and this freaked out.
Of course, it's someone going against the narrative. I mean, good lord, someone think for themselves.
And the media and American media freaked out.
But is there anything else to the story? Like.
And then, of course, I'll also mention Germany to do something smart, as in checking the real age of the people who want to migrate into the country and claim they are children, because if you are a child, they cannot deny you.
Mm-hmm.
So just make sure they are really the age they claim to be, which is, by the way, a rather simple procedure. And of course, the European Commission is freaking out that no, you can't do that.
You can't do that. That's racist.
They wanted for these people to get in by lying.
But that's truthist. Oh God.
Them all, hang them by their balls, let them hang. Hang them high, make you scream upon the sky.
That might be a bit excessive, but just a little bit, just saying.
Pissed off, and if you haven't noticed.
Yes, we noticed, exactly.
I didn't.
Oh, you did not hit her. You did not.
I did not.
Maybe we should bring up something a bit more happy thoughts. some bit more less charged. Is there like some animation news that we should be talking about?
No.
No.
News, like for example, they released. I think they released the pilot. The how is it called? The heroic quest of the valiant Prince Ivandoe, which is a production by Cartoon Network of Europe.
Mm-hmm.
The pilot just premiered, was just posted on the Cartoon Network of UK YouTube. Already confirmed as greenlit, although it's only said thus far. It was only confirmed as airing in Europe.
Okay. That was an impression that it would be aired. There wasn't anything about that animation that made me think, okay, this is only going to be in Europe. But yeah, I watched it. It was it has an interesting art style and everything. Also,
the same people who worked on Gumball are involved.
I can see that. I can definitely see that. I mean, just judging by the art style and everything. Though the whole thing where they have like semi-realistic backgrounds, like they're either CGI or just photographs of an actual background. Interesting stuff. And yeah, the jokes themselves seem to be rather cliche in the sense it's the classic. It's basically the Inspector Gadget effect, because it's obvious that the little bird person does all the work while the Buck does all, takes all the credit. It's like, yeah, I'm this hero and I do fuck all, but yeah, that was me. It was me. I saved the world. Didn't you guys see how awesome I am?
Also in the animation news, trailer for the Teen Titan Go theatrical movie is out.
Oh God.
Oh
I
yeah.
will say it looks much better than the Emoji movie. Much
Well,
better.
Then again,
It's not really hard to achieve.
yeah, virtually anything is better than the.
People are already claiming it's going to be as bad as the Emoji movie. I don't believe it. The average Teen Titans Go episode is better than the Emoji movie.
Pretty much anything with a heartbeat is better than the Emoji movie. Oh God. I recently saw like a joke version on YouTube where it was like, it's the Emoji movie, but every time something cringy happens, it goes faster. So the movie ended up being only 6 minutes long. Oh God.
It's still a lot.
Yeah, I actually expect it to be even shorter, but it also depends
Like
on
0
what.
seconds.
It also depends on what their definition of cringy is, of course.
The fact that the movie exists can be considered cringe.
Yeah, but that's only one cringe, so it's sped up with every instance of cringe. So also now we're using the word cringe unironically. I'm not sure how to feel about that.
I feel cringy.
That's pretty cringy, bro. Ugandan Knuckles, on the other hand, he's cringy, but also not really. He's both. Just so look at that magnificent beast. But seriously, why the fuck is Teen Titans Go so popular to begin with?
Go fast.
They go kind of fast in that series. That's definitely true. Everything's fucking fast paced. Because, gotta keep that short.
It's good to go like fast, man.
It's like fast. Now that I think about it, I don't think I've ever watched a single episode in full of that series.
They are hit and
Sure.
miss.
So did you?
This was stupid to actually a handful of, okay, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, then again, there are so many episodes of that series that
Basically hit the point goes on so long that eventually they actually do make something good.
Yeah, if you got that many episodes, then just by sheer randomness, you'll eventually get to a point where they make a funny. That's actually, aha, oh my god, I left at Teen Titans Go. What went wrong? And then you cry yourself to sleep because you dare to laugh at Teen Titans Go.
However, I will also say that it could be worse. This movie is actually going to be 2D.
Ooh.
Yeah, but it's probably gonna be flash animation, isn't it? Or at least like heavily tweened.
Looks like fancier. Yeah, it does look like fancier Flash.
So it's basically gonna be like the South Park movie back in the day, where they were still using the same animation technique, but it was.
I mean, everything these days use fancier Flash.
Well, yeah, they all use Toon Boom or some variation thereof. Alright.
Flush Bush. It's like a Flash, but no.
All right, let's save this before something goes wrong, and I can spend the last 10 minutes compiling the thumbnail, which is gonna be a double feature. It's going to have both the retarded Knuckles and GIR.
Knuckles versus GIR.
Various sketch dump, and let's call it. Radio Rothingham. What episode are we on, anyways? 89? I think
Five.
it's no 89.
5.
89.
Fine.
It was probably the best year of the 1980s. 89. I don't know why. It just has a nice ring to it, you know.
It was because of the revolution, Artrix.
Oh, okay, that works too, I guess. I mean, back then I was just, you know, blissfully unaware of the entire planet. It was just Monica. I mean,
Yes.
Oh, speaking of Monica,
uh,
have you heard of the game Oxenfree?
no, what about it?
It looks terrible.
Imagine if Life's Not Strange did not completely suck.
Only
It
mostly.
was a sort
Especially
horror.
graphically.
was a sort of horror game, a point-and-click one. Cannot die, but you can get a bad ending.
Mm-hmm. Also, speaking of Monica, I'm deleting Skulu again.
Yeah, Artrix, you can die, but you can get sad. Oh.
Alright.
Game starts like your typical slasher movie.
Hmm?
Slasher movie cast, the beach, the stoner, etc. Strange stuff starts happening. Only that these characters know about slasher movie cliches and think they can make it out. The problem is, they are not in a slasher movie. They are in a completely different genre of horror. To spoil the rest.
Okay, that's a slightly interesting concept.
There are different genres of horror.
Just thumbnail. Okay, this is perfect. I love it. That's gonna look pretty weird with once GIR's in there. Ugandan Knuckles.
This is the way, brother.
Not so much anymore when GIR's in there. Merge group. Got ourselves a GIR in here. Anywho, do we actually still have things to talk about?
Do. Oh yeah.
Okay, I guess this order makes more sense. Have GIR over here and Ugandan Knuckles in the background. It's like so... Oh god.
Oh yeah, there's also another meme since we had started on amazing memes. Or not as amazing memes. We already had Suicide Forest. We had Ugandan Knuckles, and we also have Tide Pods.
We have what?
So there is also the fact that Invader Zim is getting a movie this year.
Okay.
Okay. So what is this meme about?
They are like those laundry pods that you put into your laundry.
Yeah.
And they kinda look like candy, and people are basically doing a meme where they pretend to eat them and they're like making pictures that are delicious and stuff.
Yeah.
And of course, there have been reports that there are a lot of more people going into hospitals with poisoning than before because people are stupid and like try to eat them.
Natural selection.
Yeah, exactly. Eating laundry detergent.
This is not exactly a good idea. It's kind of designed to dissolve fats and whatnot.
It's kind of a bad idea.
Just a little bit.
Should it be even legal to save those people? Obviously doesn't want them to live.
Well, given that, well, if you're in Europe at least, you're paying into the healthcare system, then yes.
What do you mean, Artrix? It's legal to save people?
Well, we should go full Minority Report and just if we see that people are about to eat detergent, then we
send
should
a commando and preventively kill them.
Yes, exactly. Sir, what? Our precogs have determined that you are about to eat detergent because you watched the YouTube video, so we are going to exterminate you. Okay, now that you've given that knowledge, can I, like, not do that? That's not how precognition works, sir. We are going to have to kill you now. But now that I know that I'm going to poison myself with detergent,
We call it the forbidden fruit.
Now I know. Now I know that I shouldn't be eating it. So can you just not kill me and I'll just not eat the detergent now?
No.
Fine,
No.
as long as you don't touch my spaghetti.
But, I was actually going to touch your spaghetti, but now that you told me about it, I guess I won't. Is there anything else I should know?
It's a special tactical spaghetti, Artrix.
Yes. Also, don't eat
Somebody
the
touched my
forbidden fruit.
spaghetti.
Somebody touched my spaghetti.
Spaghetti.
Just spaghetti.
Mamma mia!
Mia mama. And,
I don't even remember that cartoon existing. And I'm usually pretty big into old cartoons.
which one? I think I know what you're talking about, but wasn't that like some Looney Tunes cartoon?
I have no idea what cartoon it is from. I know it's an old cartoon, but I don't know what is it.
Mamma mia.
Maybe it's like one of those old Super Mario cartoons from
He doesn't remember.
It's like Golden Age stuff, like 1940s.
He doesn't know the way. Also, Italian Knuckles, make it happen.
Well, we already have Russian
Mario
Knuckles.
clothes.
I am an Italian Knuckles. Do you know the way? Mamma mia. Do you know the way?
First time, by the way, I saw that Knuckles meme. Suicide is painless.
Yes. But that back then that was a different meme. That was just the animation of the Knuckles singing random songs. Then it evolved.
How did the drawing come into existing, by the way?
Somebody was making a parody of the new redesigns of Sonic, and they drew Knuckles like that, and then people liked it, and it kind of spiraled out of control.
You know what? I think we're kind of running out of steam. We're just rambling on
I
now.
never even
Origin.
started the Steam Artrix. You're lying, Morgan.
Right. So that wraps up the very first episode of Radio Rothingham of 2018. I hope you hated it, and if you liked it, then there must be something wrong with you.
Hate it.
So like, subscribe, do it, all that good jazz, and see you guys.
Bad jazz.
See you guys next week for yet another episode of Radio Rothingham.
Brothers, do the voodoo.
Do the voodoo. Subscribe to the podcast. It'll be grand, and then you'll find a way, or something like that.
That is the way.
The way, brother. The way to Rothingham, brother.
The way of the devil.
Anyway, take care, all of you guys. See you next week.